Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Terry Brookhart, and I want to thank you for tuning in to the MLM Hero Radio. This is the first episode, and buckle up, it is going to be a doozy. If you're anything like me, then you know that MLMs can be amazing business opportunities. But the major issue is, what do you do if you don't want to bug family members and friends? And how do we recruit the best players into our downlines? This podcast is the answer to those and other grilling questions about MLMs as I've learned. My name is Terry Brookhart, and welcome to the MLM Hero Radio. So right off the bat, I'm going to ruffle some feathers. MLM. Ooh, scary. Just the word MLM or network marketing makes people feel so angry or agitated. And I know why. I was there. When I first started MLM, I was that guy. Everyone hears, oh, that dreaded three-way phone call. Come to my home party, or let's go to a hotel event. Yes, we've all been there. We all know somebody that is likely in MLM because they'll tell you. They will definitely tell you. But for most people, they think it's a pyramid scheme when they hear network marketing. Well, it's because of those dreaded three-way phone calls and things of that nature. And for most people, it's their first business venture. It's the first thing that they're doing to generate some sort of income, whether it's online or otherwise. They get a broken system out of the box, and they don't know what to do. They don't know how to market or attract clients or leads to them. So what do? They rely on the tactics that their upline tells them. In other words, make a list of family and friends. Write them down. We're going to find out which ones you say are the best suited. Okay, great. Now we're going to call them one by one and beg them to join the downline. Sounds great, right? Well, not so much. I know that's what I did. That's what I was taught. My first MLM experience was years ago, and it was when I was in Providence, Rhode Island, at the time with my girlfriend at the time. I was in the military, and one of my battles, his dad was in this particular MLM at the time, and he did a home party. Now, he was a great speaker. He did very well, very professional. He made it seem wonderful. And for me, I was primed. Because up until this point, I had a strong desire for all things business and investments and reoccurring income. Essentially, my spark for entrepreneurship started with, like many, The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. So I've read that book and other books like Money Master the Game by Tony Robbins and tons of others. The point is, I was in the mindset to want to do more. I just didn't have a vehicle. I didn't know where to go. I just had this strong urge to make money to provide for those that I love so that way I could pay for all the groceries, all the rent, get a nice car. I wanted to have substantial income. So that was my mindset going into this. And when I watched this presentation, and because of how professional it was, I was enthralled. I thought it was fascinating. And I honestly never had even heard of network marketing up to this point. I mean, I did, but I wasn't like super skeptical of pyramid schemes. I mean, I heard the term, but I didn't know what it was. So I was incredibly naive going into it. I just knew I wanted more. I just didn't know how to get that. So, long story short, I was convinced right at the get-go. I spent $300 to join in. I think it was a two-part industry. They had two separate sections to it. It was really strange. I had personally no idea what I was doing. I just was hungry and I wanted to go for it full force. So I did what my upline said. I made that list of family and friends, and I went to the event. I went to I went with them, and I absorbed all the information that I could. And what happened was soured relationships and awkward happenstances. I had in the entire time that I was with that MLM, I recruited 4 people, and they were my family. They only did it because they felt guilty for me, and I know that now. But They just wanted me to succeed. And I appreciate that, but it didn't help me grow as an entrepreneur at all. As for the event and the awkward situations, I was amped. I was almost like a cult. I was primed and ready to go. They inspired me to want to do more. So what did I do? After I left the event, I would go to a gas station or the hotel that I was at, and I'd approach the people very abrasively. Hey, what do you think about this, that, and the other? Have you ever thought about your financial future? Do you like peace, love, and happiness? I mean, the scripts were much more structured, but you get the point. I was very forceful. I was just vomiting techno babble to these people, confusing them, and they're like, yeah, buddy, go away. I say all that to express that I've been in the trenches and I did what my upline said, and I had zero results to show for it. Even the people that did join my MLM at the time, my family, I had to constantly call them and text them, and then in some cases drive 20, 30 minutes each way just to stop in and see what they were doing with their website, see if they were promoting, see if they were trying to recruit. I wanted them to make their list of family and friends. It just was weird and wrong, and it made me. I hated MLM for a very long time. It just gave me a very bitter taste, and that's not how I wanted to do business and create relationships. So after 2 to 3 years of not being in MLM, I was still hungry for some sort of financial growth. I knew that sales in general was kind of my speed. I moved to the Carolinas at that time, and I was dabbling in investing in real estate, and I was still working in kitchens down here, but at the same time, I wanted to transition into sales, so I was looking at these sales jobs. I tried selling cars, selling windows, just trying to put myself in a situation where I could develop my communication skills for person to person, because honestly, in my opinion, the sales force in all industries is the best profession, because without salespeople, the economy stops. If you don't have somebody selling your product or service, then there's no voice in the marketplace. You don't make money. Nobody makes money. Sales is paramount to success. Now, that said, I was still involved with wanting to know more about sales and business in general. So I went to the 10X Growth Con in, I believe it was Vegas at the time. The 10X Growth Con, if you don't know a man named Grant Cardone, I highly recommend it. Google him. He's wonderful, very, very aggressive. One of my favorite sayings that he says is "Be obsessed or be average." Anyway, getting off topic. So I went to the 10X Growth Con, and there was a keynote speaker there by the name of Russell Brunson, and he introduced this topic of modeling sales funnels. In other words, to break it down kind of simply, a sales funnel is basically a sales message. It's like a website, but it leads a buyer or a lead or a prospect in MLM down a particular path. It can be as simple as if you've seen those free plus shippings. Like if you get a book, all you have to do is just pay for the shipping, and then it takes you through a process. That's kind of that simple. And the modeling behavior was essentially you find a business that is already successful doing it. Kind of like what Tony Robbins says. If you want to do something in life, go find somebody that's already doing it and is successful at it, and then model that behavior. So Tony Robbins and Russell Brunson they kind of inspired me to think differently. So I was interested in this internet marketing game. I was being introduced to modeling behavior, modeling websites, modeling things that work. So I dove headfirst in trying to consume all the content that I could get my hands on. I searched out webinars, web classes. I was starting to read books, and I ran into Steve Larson's content. And originally it was the Sales Funnel Radio. A huge shout out there. Lots of great information. And as I was listening to him for months at the time, I was working events with my full-time job, which was selling wine. At one of these particular events, somebody approached me with the classic MLM pitch. Are you keeping your options open because you seem like a great guy? Now, at this point, I'm not an idiot. I was naive in the beginning, not knowing what an MLM was, but at this point, I've done enough research. I know what MLMs are. And it's not that I was opposed to them. I still was apprehensive, but I wanted to hear this person out and at least give them the time of day for whatever reason. And honestly, that's the current MLM that I'm in now. I was recruited through an old method, but I'm doing it on my terms today. I don't, my upline, I didn't listen to them when I went in. I take these things called internet sales funnels, and I have an auto recruiting funnel. I don't even talk to people to recruit them. They come to me and they ask to be part of my downline. That is powerful. That is the exact opposite way that the uplines throughout the entirety of the MLM industry, they don't teach that. They teach these home meetings and three-way phone calls. They don't teach how to actually market and attract people that would be qualified people into your downline. So back to Steve Larson and Russell Brunson. So as I was listening to these podcasts and starting to understand what these sales funnels were, I had an epiphany. It dawned on me, okay, if the internet marketing world creates these ads and these platforms where they can attract people to come purchase a product or a service, I wonder if it could be applied to MLM. So I did some Googling research just to satisfy my own curiosity, and I wanted to find out if and what the top MLMers in the world were doing. So I Googled a handful of them, and over the next 2-3 hours, I found out that they weren't doing anything like the original MLMers were doing. They weren't doing home meetings. They weren't doing three-way phone calls, hotel meetings, webinars, nothing like that. What they were doing this internet marketing game. They had this front-end product that essentially was like a video course of a tutorial teaching just generic MLMers how to recruit people or to how to handle objections or things of that nature. And when someone's opted in for this course, they're like, oh, great. You know what goes well with that course? This PDF or this MP3 or this audio book. All you have to do is just type in your email and let me know where to send it and just pay for the shipping, $7.95. So once someone purchased that audiobook or PDF or ebook or whatever the content was, that MLMer knew exactly that person was willing to pull out their pocket and put their money where their mouth was. Those who pay attention. In other words, they're not looking for people that are trouble or leeches or people that they have to poke and prod and beg to keep working. Someone that is going to take initiative to pay for something is going to pay attention and do the things that are necessary for their business to grow. So that the MLMer that did that, they know that that's a qualified lead. Those are the people they reach out and bring into their downlines. And a huge epiphany for me. If no one in the entire MLM industry is doing this, nobody. Why are we still being taught something from the 90s, even though the top people aren't doing that? They have entirely a different model that is way more efficient for their time because it protects their time and their money so that way they can be efficient. Because honestly, no one really likes to be that or hear that laptop success guy. Yeah, I'm just sitting on the laptop or the beach rather, just drinking my martini and, 10 more recruits. No, if I'm at the beach, I'm going to be playing in the water. Is this making sense? I know I'm rambling a little bit, but the point being is there's a more efficient way that I have found to make an impact financially mostly, but also to teach people. And the whole purpose of this podcast is to expose that and teach people what I'm learning. I want to overturn a lot of the methods that are being taught in the current MLM industry, because the MLM industry is a great industry. It's affiliate marketing. That's really all it is, but you're a commission-based salesman. But there's no marketing in network marketing, quote unquote, being taught. There's no course or information that an MLM or a network marketing company teaches its affiliates what to do. So I'm really excited to have you along for this journey. It's going to be a fun one. But please subscribe, comment, offer anything, advice, or things that you want to hear about or have me talk about. I'm going to do some interviews here and there. But thank you very much, and I will see you in the next episode.